everyone, and I am so excited that you're here today. Today is a very hot day in Ghana, but we've been getting a lot of rain, like so much rain that it doesn't seem like Ghana. And a lot of people have been saying that the rain has been a little early this year because the heaviest rain is not until June, July. But we've been getting like storms that feels like tornadoes, and really heavy rain and flooding and all of that. So after the rain, it just gets really humid. So today is kind of like one of those days, just hot and humid. But I'm here in my office. I have not done anything much to the office yet. I haven't done anything to the office. But I've started using it already because I really needed to. What I like about it most is this really huge window, this gigantic window that is it just lets in all the natural light, and I really like that. I think this room was not supposed to be an office. It's more like a house help room, like if you have a live-in house help, because it has a full bathroom. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like, and then I'll talk to you about what this video will be about today. So it's just the outdoor, it's towards the front of the house. The wind is carrying the trash, blowing the trash around over there. And let me move back so you see this really huge window. I think one of the reasons why we picked this house was because of the natural light. It's kind of similar to how big our windows were in the US, so we kind of fell in love with it. But do you see how tall this window is? It's like all the way almost at the top, and it goes like almost more than halfway. It's like extremely big for a small space, and it's almost at the end of the wall on both sides. That side is pretty much hitting that side of the wall. So it just lets in all this light, and it doesn't make the room so small, but it is a small room. So that's the door from the hallway, from the entryway. You come in from the foyer this way, and then the office is on the left. Then you move forward. But this is the bathroom. So I think this should have been that's Nico's toy, the dog. I think this should have been a room for a living house help. I got, I like DIYs, so I got this used desk, and I need to sand it, paint it the color that I want. So this is the before. I'm gonna show you guys what the after looks like. But this is the bathroom. So it's a full bathroom. I don't know if we're ever gonna use it. It's one of those things that, it's there, but we have too many of them to use this. And I don't think we're gonna have someone live in with us. So it's just there. So let's get back to why I'm doing this video today. So today's video is going to be a little chit chat about, and I'm sorry if I keep looking away. There are lots of things here to distract me, like lizards in the yard and stuff. But today I want to talk about 3 things that I have discovered while being in Ghana. There are some that are unique to Africa or Liberia and Ghana, but I'm just gonna talk about Ghana, okay? And it is something, there are things that I am getting adjusted to, or I need to get adjusted to, but they're a little different than what I've been used to. Let's say, coming from the US. So number 1, Ghanaians take greetings very serious, very, very seriously. And it's not, that's unique to Africa, okay? Because even in Liberia, people like to be greeted. If you don't, like if you walk by and you don't greet people, they get really angry. But greetings in Liberia is not as formal as the ones here. So in Ghana, hello is really not considered a greeting. You have to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The good has to be there. Like, it's so formal. And everyone, from the kid straight up to the older person, all greet in this formal manner. And for we who have lived abroad for so long, hello is a greeting. Hello. So I found myself saying hello a lot. So what they would do, because they're very polite people, they'll say hello back, and then they'll say good afternoon. So you'll walk by and you say hello, hello, good afternoon. So a couple of times I kind of cut myself. I was like, maybe that's how I'm supposed to greet, but it just seemed a little too formal for me. But then when we walk by and people are very like, greetings is something that people just give you. It's something that they look forward to doing. They're not very selfish with it. So people speak to you when you walk on the street. I mean, they just give you greetings, and they make it seem like they're interested in you. Like, the good afternoon is not like hello and walk by, because I mean, that's kind of how we do in the States. Sometimes you don't want to say hello, and if you do, you don't want to stand up and talk, so you just flunk the hello, the hi, and you're on your way. But over here, a good afternoon sometimes will be followed by how are you doing, how is your morning, hope your day is going well, and stuff like that, and it's really pleasant. But so I never realized how serious greetings were, especially the formal type of it. Even on the phone, when you say hello, that is supposed to acknowledge you, one, greeting the person, and two, acknowledging that you're there. So hello, they'll say hello, good morning. I just don't get it. I'm getting used to it now. So now I would like greet people, instead of saying hello or hello, I'll just say good morning, good afternoon. And it's something that I'm glad that I'm doing, because it's just so polite. It's just so unique and formal, and it makes the recipient feel a little good about themselves. Like, the few times that kids would greet me when I walk on the side of the road, or like even adults, the formality of it made me feel like I was an important person. And that's the sense it gives me. So then I'm reciprocating that now. But then the interesting, the funny thing is, sometimes I mix up my time of the day. The other day I came outside in the yard and there were some guys there, and I said, good afternoon. And it was definitely not afternoon, it was in the evening. And the man said, good evening. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Maybe I should just stick to my hello instead of this good afternoon and good evening thing, because I clearly don't know when you're supposed to start saying good evening and when you're supposed to start saying good afternoon. But yeah, so the formal greetings is just a good thing that I would hope to carry with me. I probably might seem weird in Liberia, because some people may greet that way, but it's not generalized like the way it is in Ghana. That's kind of like the way people greet people. Yeah. The second thing is, it's a little weird. Phone conversations, like phone, and it kind of ties into the greetings, okay? So when you call someone I would just say the people that I've talked to on the phone, when you call them, when you call someone, the receiving end is supposed to acknowledge that they're on the phone, that they have picked up your call and they're there. And they do that by saying hello. Now, those, I'm not going to say Ghanaians because maybe it's not across the board. Maybe it's just the people that I've spoken to on the phone. But everyone that I've spoken to on the phone would answer the phone and say nothing. They're waiting for me to say hello. And it was so annoying at first. I was like, it started out with my maid. So I would call her and she would answer the phone and she would just be quiet on the phone. And I wouldn't know if she has answered or not, if she answered by accident and then after a couple of seconds I'll be like, hello, and then she'll say, hello, good afternoon, madam. And I'm like, couldn't you just say hello so I know that, but I thought it was just her. And then it started happening a lot more frequently when I spoke to people. So then I was like, is it a thing? Is it how people receive calls or answer calls here in Ghana? Like, if you are the one calling, you're supposed to be the one that say hello first. It's just weird because we're not used to that, It's almost like this etiquette for phone conversations. Your phone ring, you pick it up, you say hello, is acknowledging that you're there. And then the person says hello and they introduce themselves and why they're calling. But over here is the other way around. And it gives you that debt collector kind of vibe. You know how in the States, when these student loan people or one of these credit card people stop buzzing your phone and you don't want to talk, or this strange number call you and they're maybe like solicitors and stuff, they call you and you kind of want to know who it is because you don't know the number. So you're quiet on the phone until they can say something, then you can decide if you want to talk or not. We all do that. That's kind of how it is here. And it's done to me all the time. I'm like, but then it started getting funny because it just reminds me of how we treat solicitors and debt collectors in the US. But I don't know if that's a thing. So share your knowledge of that in the comment section and let me know if that is a social norm that I need to adapt to so that it doesn't bother me, because I'm ready to start teaching people, especially the ones that I'm comfortable with, that I talk to frequently on the phone, that you're supposed to say hello when you answer the phone so that the person knows that you've answered and then they can greet you and you guys start to talk. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, this is in Africa as a whole, but I'm going to speak specifically to the incidents or the Ghana part of it. And I think the longer I live in Africa, I'm going to realize that it's not just unique to Ghana. It'll probably happen in Liberia and stuff. But the third thing is that there is no imaginary bubble in Ghana. There is no imaginary bubble. And a lot of you may not know what that imaginary bubble is. But when I was in college, during my undergraduate, I did a sociology class, and we talked about this imaginary bubble that everyone kind of puts around them. It's kind of like that space that you're supposed to. Society kind of turned that, and it became a social norm. So it's kind of like a norm where everyone has this perimeter around them that you can't really get into. When you hear people say my space, that's the bubble, that's the imaginary bubble. So if you enter into that bubble, you're in someone else's space. Or they would say you're in my face, like you're there, In Ghana, there is no imaginary bubble. And not because the place is crowded or anything. It's just because people are not used to standing that far away and talking to you, or sitting that far away from you. You guys are supposed to be together, like they're supposed to share space with you. And it's uncomfortable because mentally we've been wired to this imaginary bubble. And it's so weird. interestingly is that when I was in the US, I had serious issues with that imaginary bubble. Like sometimes it just makes you feel like you're not good enough for the next person, you know? Like you enter into an elevator, you're standing there and they go to the opposite end, all because they don't want to be in your space, right? And most times people prefer it that way. Or you would be sitting on the bus and there's room around you and someone is looking for somewhere else to sit because they don't want to be in your bubble. So the bubble thing is real, but in Africa is not. In Ghana is not. In Liberia, I think Liberians kind of know boundaries. You know, that's a different story. I don't know. I have not experienced too much of the intrusion when it comes to personal space in Liberia. And maybe because we all like to act hip, you know, like nobody wants to be bothered with the other person. So people kind of keep their distances, and they're aware of that. But in Ghana, I don't think it's people are conscious of it. So they just enjoy sharing spaces with you. So where we stay, we're not, our house is not the only house on the fence. It's kind of like a townhome style. So it's a shared space, but even the part that is ours seemed like it's not ours. It seemed like it's not ours. Like people can just do stuff without any kind of regards to that's your space, you know, that's what you pay for and that's your space and it should be respected. And if it is to be used, you should be asked, you know. That's not and I try not to push it because I think if you push it too much, people start thinking you're selfish, but it's not a thing. So the security that we had used to come and sit on our porch in the evening when he comes to work. He would use the chairs on the porch, and I didn't have any problem with that. I'm like, the closer to us, the better it is, right? We feel safer. And then my porch started getting to be like a night bed turned into day bed. So he would use one chair to sit in, the other chair to put his legs in. He would cover up and all of that. And then in the morning, he doesn't wake up in time to leave. So daylight catches him there and he's like sleeping in the front of my house, you know? And then I still didn't have problem with it. I was a little uneasy about it, but I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna sweat it. But then it got to the point where old boy started leaving water bottle, water plastic, like trash on my porch, the front of my house. And I was like, you know what, this is not gonna happen. Like he would put his charger in the wall and he would just leave it there with no courtesy of, this is the front of this person's house. This is where guests come in. I need to treat it with respect. And I was just like, this is where it ends, you know? So I don't be so confrontational. I just took the chairs away. I just took the chairs from the front of the porch and put it in the house. When I want to sit outside, I take it out, I sit, and I bring it back inside. And ever since then, he hasn't been back because there isn't any chair to sit on the porch. But then I always think about it like, does that make me look like I'm mean or I'm selfish? And that's just one incident. There are many other incidences where you come out of your house and you just see people using your space without any kind of permission or anything. So, and even at restaurants, there are a couple of restaurants where you go, they have a long chair, table, and like a couch looking stuff. And technically it's supposed to be shared. It's a shared space. So a person is supposed to be eating their meal and another person is supposed to sit there. Like you guys are supposed to share the table. And it's so uncomfortable for me because I don't know you. What are we gonna talk about? I know we don't have to talk about anything, but then again, that personal bubble space thing is a real thing mentally. So it just rubs me, it just makes me uncomfortable. And then I'm the one now looking for somewhere else to sit and feeling really awkward, you know? So that's something I need to work on. And then another time, the house maid for the other house came and knocked on my back door to ask me if my she could use something from the kitchen or something. And I was kind of confused at first because the way she said it, she didn't say it like she wanted to borrow my stuff. She almost made it seem like I had a shared thing in my house that was for everyone. So I was like, ah. And then I got it. I was like, oh, okay. So she used it and brought it back. And I was like, Marian, you have to get used to sharing. You have to get used to sharing because I remember when we lived in Africa, people would borrow like salt or oil or something, like the washboard or the mortar and that was a thing. But I kind of forgot about that. And I don't have a problem with that. But it was unusual, but it was also unique. It was cute. So there's a lot that I'm learning being here in Africa, and those are some things that I think are unique, but I need to get adjusted to it. The whole transition of your mind from West to Africa is a real thing, and you probably may not pay much attention to it, but it's going to happen. Like there are so many things that you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, yes, now I have to. You're conscious of it. So I just thought to share that with you guys. Thanks for coming back on here. Um, I'm gonna start getting a little bit more frequent now with my videos. Living so far away, because I don't like to do a lot of talking videos. I like to like move around and show stuff. And living so far away kind of takes that away from me. So when I can't do that, I feel like I don't want to be on the camera talking. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I don't do videos that often anymore. But I am working on that commitment, at least until we can move closer to the city. So thank you for coming back. I hope to see you in another video. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button, hit the notification so that you are alerted when I put a video up. And I will catch you around. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.